an initiative of Alep. Today, in today's episode, we have an amazing personality from Sri Lanka, Mr. Amit Gamesh. Amit is a personal branding strategist. He has helped 40,000 plus businesses to grow, to expand. He is also a CXO coach. We are very lucky to have him here. On behalf of our lab family, I thank you so much, sir, for being here.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, sir. I know today is Sunday and you must be having so many works, but you have chosen to be here, so we are grateful for you for your gesture. Before moving further, this personal branding is very important term, especially for businesses, for an entrepreneur. So, sir, we would like to know what exactly is personal branding from your viewpoint, because you are an expert of the domain. I may not be have that clarity. Most entrepreneurs may not have that kind of clarity. So, as an expert, please let us know what exactly is personal branding and why it is so important. Sir, please.
Yes, so let's talk about just normal branding for a product or service. Now, it has gone to the extent like, you know, we too, Sri Lankans and Indians, we consume rice. And then now we go to the store and we look for a specific brand of rice. Rice being a commodity, but now we look for a brand because that brand would hold certain values. Okay, the rice is pure, it's cleaned, it's coming from a good source. Now, I'm given a brand. At the time I was born, I was given a name. You go to school. At school, we all have had our nicknames, based on our maybe bodily shape or whatever behavior. Friends used to call us something, and then you come to the corporate world or you become an entrepreneur. Now there's a bit of a competition, and if you don't compete, fine, someone else going to take that position. And in that world, you can call yourself an entrepreneur, but then among hundreds and thousands of entrepreneurs, how are you different? You can call yourself, I am a university student or I'm an undergraduate, but then among hundreds and thousands of undergraduates, how can one recognize you? So, personal brand is what you are known for among others, so that you are unique, you are special. And also, when someone is looking for a very specific person who could give a specific service or a product or a solution, among those others who are offering the same solution, the person who has a personal brand will outshine the others. I have this example. If you go to your school as an old boy or an old girl, let's say you are the chief guest, before you get onto the stage, a compeer, which could be a schoolgirl or a schoolboy, would introduce you to the audience. What do you like to hear about yourself? That's your personal brand. And then if you do not create that personal brand, even the compy would be confused. What am I supposed to say about this person? The audience would be confused. And then you might hear something that you don't want to hear. So, in a nutshell, that is personal brand. But of course, Jeff Bezos has said that it's what others talk about you when you're not in the room. You can add another dimension. In today's context, what other people can find about you when they Google your name. That's your personal brand.
Thank you so much, and you explained it that so basic terms that it's easy for anyone to understand that. Very good. So, because this show is specifically for entrepreneurs, so I'm going to focus mainly on the entrepreneur's point of view. You can say, when someone start a business, whatever business is in that field, there are already hundreds and thousands of people. So maybe that person worries whether I'm going to be successful or not, because there are already so many people. Why people are going to come to me? How I'm going to get clients? How I'm going to get opportunity? So uh, why what he or she should focus on to get more opportunity or to get more client, because everyone is unique, we all know that, है ना? We are as
Yeah.
unique as our that fingerprints, you can say. So what he or she should focus on to build his or her own personal branding.
Yes. Now, if you decide, okay, I'm not going to focus on my personal brand. Okay, let's say I have a product. Let's say I have a chocolate or something, and then I have a service. Let's say I have a CRM solution. And if I'm not going to use my personal brand as the founder, then I have to pump money to promote the corporate brand of that chocolate or that CRM solution, which is hard. Gaining a, a fair share of the marketplace for a product or a service is not easy. Your pockets have to be deep. You have to spend a lot of money among those big brands. But the easiest thing is, might as well, while you are spending money and effort on building your product or the service brand, how about spending your time and effort on building your personal brand so that you can go forward and talk about your company brand as the founder? Because it's very easy for human to remember a personal name, a shape of a face, than trying to remember a brand. So it is uh, cheaper, less costly. It's easier to connect on one-to-one basis if you build your personal brand. Of course, behind your personal brand, when you go on that personal branding journey, you can bring your your corporate brands as well. It's easier because you are clearing the path for your company brand to come behind you.
As you mentioned, we will have to go deeper in our pockets to get. So when a person starts his or her own company or maybe business or so what, people are, because I'm a coach, so I used to discuss people. So this is, sir, I don't have that kind of money to create my own personal brand. I can't hire agencies for creating my personal brand. So do you think is it necessary for an entrepreneur to hire a personal branding expert, or he or she can uh, establish his own brand?
Actually, if you want, you can get a help of someone like me. But then if you are already into little bit of social media, if you are already operating on Facebook, Instagram, and or LinkedIn maybe, and then little bit of reading and understanding, maybe you can read few articles, watch some videos, participate in a discussion like that, ask questions and understand, okay, this is how I do personal branding. It is not a costly affair. And then I always believe, to develop your personal brand, you are the best person. Maybe, let's say I'm going to post something. Yesterday, I posted something on my LinkedIn about a Sri Lankan tea brand conquering into 120 locations in different countries. And that has been seen by more than 20,000 plus people. Now, if an agency is going to uh, post something like that, the agency will have to get back to you and ask, right, shall we post something like this? And then agency wouldn't be there. How I ended up is I accidentally walked into that tea shop, sat down, had a cup of tea, and then one of the boys came and asked, sir, can I take your photo and post it on our Facebook page? I said, fine. Now, an agency wouldn't be there to capture that moment for them to promote it. I was there. It was my moment. We captured it and I posted it on my social media, which boosted it so much. The owner of the brand spoke to me and said, hey, Amita, thank you very much for helping our brand. Right? And then what else can we do together? So it eventually ended up being a business discussion. And then there were
Great.
so many other people. I think from yesterday to today, probably more than 50 or 75 people connected to me after seeing that post. I don't think an agency can, leverage it so much because it's about what you do.
So yeah, so and that an entrepreneur should start on his or own or her own. And let's move based on the uniqueness of their brand. They should move forward, and of course, experts like you can help, definitely help. But that thing can start after a few weeks or few months or maybe a couple of years.
Yes. Actually, one of the things, you don't have to wait till you start a business to build your personal brand, because you never know whether you will venture into business as a school kid or a university student. But it's okay to build your personal brand. Suppose if you go on the entrepreneurial path or whether you go on the corporate path, you could still leverage it. It's an additional tool in your bucket if you have built your personal brand. Now, both my sons, one is 14 and one is 18, they both are leveraging the personal brand that they have built.
Wonderful. So that must be a new learning for many entrepreneurs or to be many students and to be entrepreneurs, that you should not wait till you become an entrepreneur or maybe a professional. You should start building your own personal brand when even you are in school,
Yeah.
even in college. Keep building that so that when you start your journey, that career journey, entrepreneurial journey, that personal branding will help you
Yeah.
there. Wonderful idea, sir. Thank you so much for that. Coming to social media, I mentioned that social media helps a lot in creating a personal branding. And in today's information age, or you can say internet age, social media helps a lot. So, social media help or distract also, because people have different viewpoints, because the into social media like Instagram and Twitter, they have their own personal thing as well. So do you think it is important to have a different page or different account for that brand, it is or besides personal, or you can do both things together? What do you think?
Yeah. So there's this definition of what is character. And I love this definition. It says, your character is what you do when no one is looking. So, so
Yes.
in terms of social media, you can't actually build something that is not there. So I have seen this. People act differently on a platform like Facebook. They are very relaxed, and then they go and maybe criticize or bully others and all, thinking that that platform is allowing you to do that. And then when they come
Mhm.
to LinkedIn, they wear a jacket and then they are very serious. They only discuss very serious stuff. But what they don't realize is, for the audience meet both persons on internet. And then
Mhm.
you will be considered as a fraudulent person who has two
Yes.
characters. So it is only one, what you do. Like, say for an example, say I'm a vegetarian, and then I can't be having meat when no one is looking at me. Like, suppose if I get caught, people are going to talk about it, and that's the end of my reputation. So principally, you can't have two characters. It is just one. Whatever you showcase on social media, of course, you will make sure that, I mean, here I have come to this meeting with a shirt, but probably at home I might be staying, with this heaty environment. I may stay at home without a shirt, but I'll always make sure that I'll go out of my home with a shirt. Yeah, when you go to a forum, there's a way that you behave, and the same way, when you come to social
Yes.
media, everybody has to see only one character wherever you go.
So you are in public at the time.
Yes.
And wonderful, wonderful. So leveraging social media again, as you mentioned, that branding can be created or can be established person by initially at least by that person itself. So similar with the social media, that social media managing social media for the business he or she doing. that person can do on her own or his own, or
Yeah,
is there a need of for manager or something?
no, you can do it on your own, but before that you got to know if you want to build a personal brand, you need to ask. Now if you look at any commercial brands, like take a biscuit, each biscuit would be known for something, otherwise they all will become biscuits. There are biscuits for kids. Even within kids category, there are different types, different flavors, different benefits those biscuits brands would offer. So you as an individual, based on your interests, based on your hobbies, based on your skill set, based on what you could offer, you got to ask yourself, how do you want my image to be projected to the world? Maybe, for an example, maybe I'm good at music, but at the same time, maybe I'm good at mathematics. And maybe one day I want to become a mathematician or a maths teacher. So I better build my personal brand around that, because I'm expecting a job or some business related activity around maths. So it's good to promote myself someone in maths. And then later on, I can decide whether I'm going to leverage my musical skill as a value added thing. Or else I might be equally good at both, but my heart is, living in the musical side, and I want to be a music teacher or a musician one day. So I don't want to highlight my mathematical side in building my personal brand. So it's a bit of a choice. It's a strategic decision that you take. But of course, over a period of time, people evolve, people leave out things, people change industries. Sometimes your hobby into music may die down later, and then you might decide, okay, music is not for me. It's okay, brands can evolve. So you got to decide and then take action based on those. Let's say it's like deciding on a theme for a wedding or an event. It's something like that.
Okay, got it. So knowing knowing oneself is very important. That as you mentioned, unique skills, unique traits, character, etc. So that's very important to establish your personal brand. Very good. So you mentioned that you told me that person is good in music, maybe in mathematics. So there is certain, you can say, pros and cons in every field. So when a person reaches on that diversion, whether I should go on that field or whether I go on this field, so it becomes difficult for many people to choose what I should do.
Yeah,
So can some guiding principles that what one should do
yeah,
and on those kind of decision
yeah.
making?
Now, in here, why are we talking about those two specific skills? Someone is, let's say, good in both mathematics and music. Why it is important for a personal brand? Because you may create content around what you do. So if you are not sure where you are heading in your content creation strategy, where the world is going to recognize you, you may use both at this moment, because you yourself cannot decide whether you are going towards this side or this side. So uh, now, to add little more, there are two types of people in this world: the creators and the consumers. Now, if you want to build your personal brand by just being a consumer, you're not going to create your personal brand. Using social media, you got to create content which showcases who you are, your capabilities, your interest, and everything. So, if you are good at mathematics and in music, you would create equal amount of content showcasing both skills until you decide which one would take you far. It's okay. There's no harm. But then eventually you will decide, okay, I think I'm going to stick to music more. So I'll produce more content on music and talk and write. When I say produce content, it could be videos, audios, like, wherever you go, maybe you will decide to post more pictures of musical formulas than mathematical formulas after deciding.
And what about competitors? When I'm going to establish my own personal branding, I think, oh, I'm going to be musician, but there are thousands of musicians. How I'm going to be effective? How I'm going to succeed in that domain? So when building a personal identity, how one should look at a competitors?
Yeah, actually, you should be worried about competitors when you don't have a personal brand, because there are thousands of musicians out there and thousands of musicians also out there without a personal brand. And suddenly, the world is going to hear your uniqueness. They are going to read, watch your uniqueness, where your unique ability to play a particular instrument or your ability to compose music would be shown to the world. And because of your personality, your your picture, your the way you speak, the if you have a YouTube channel or LinkedIn, the way you engage with your audience, all that will create that unique personal brand. Then you don't have to worry, because once when you create that personal brand and when you are unique, there are customers who are also looking for your product, your brand, and there will be a match, easy match, because they know what they are looking for and you know what you are creating, and then there will be a niche, a matchmaking. There you are.
So good, sir. So good. Uh, if you don't mind, can you tell me your greatest strength that make you an expert in this domain of personal branding, if you find it comfortable?
Yeah, so I was in the corporate world, and in the latter part of my LinkedIn journey, while being in corporate world, I realized that I could leverage LinkedIn to sell. Basically sell, you work for somebody, and then what you do is eventually you eventually help the organization achieve their revenue objectives.
Hmm.
And I was doing that, and then I once when I moved out, I was using it for my personal benefit, like to sell my products, services, me being a coach, me being a corporate trainer and all that. And then there were people who used to approach me and ask me, "Hey Amita, we are selling this particular software, and we can see that you have 20,000 followers. Can you sell our product? Can you go and talk about it?" And then I used to tell those very people, "Hey, why are you asking me to do it? Why don't you build your brand? We build your network. At least if you have only 1,000 people in your network, why don't you bring it to 5,000? And then you can just do what I do." And then I realized, okay, there's a huge gap in the market. People don't talk about it. People simply don't know that they have to build a personal brand. So they struggle more. And as I told you, it doesn't cost you a single cent. So then I thought, okay, I know the formula. Why don't I just share it with the others? And to be honest with you, I use it also as a Trojan horse, because by way of talking about personal branding, I don't make a lot of money, honestly speaking, but I make a lot of money with my coaching and my training. And then if you see, instead of me going and talking about my coaching or my training, people just you guys just invited me and say, "Hey, come Amita, can you talk about personal branding?" And I'm not here to make money. I'm here to spread my name as a personal branding strategist. But then whoever goes and check my name, all my other services are available. So that's how I ended up in, of course, I give it as a service, but then, the amount of money I make as a personal branding strategist is very, very minimal, because I am using it, as I told you, as a Trojan horse.
Sir, I can see you that you have established yourself very well, no doubt about that. So, can you share some effective strategies to help someone to become his own personal branding?
Yeah. So let's say you are a founder, since we are in this domain,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then you are planning to develop a software or maybe an app. The one other thing is you can put it to the app store and then pump money, expecting it to, eventually it is a B2C uh, kind of a product. But then imagine uh, if one of your favorite, uh, maybe an actor, say for an example, actor Vijay for that matter, you are Dr. Vijay and then I'm talking about actor Vijay,
yes, yes,
and he comes and says, hey man, hey my fans, I have developed an app, and it's a gaming app, and all the actors and actresses are in the game. You got to pump money and play the game. Wouldn't they download the app overnight? That app
yes,
would become a success because Vijay is a great personal brand already in his domain. As an actor, he has built his personal brand in that domain. So when you build a personal brand, it is easy to sell whatever you want to sell. It could be an app, it could be a service, it could be a web service, e-commerce, or whatever, right? That's how you find that uh, very successful people easily get into various different businesses using their personal brand. They just go out and they keep a press conference and they say, hey, look, I have started a new business. And then next day, people are around him to buy that product. It's the power of the personal brand. So decide, of course, by the time you are going to become a founder, you're going to launch your brand, it'll be little tough because your attention is now divided between building your personal brand versus building your business brand. Your business brand or your business could fail. That's given. That's what is entrepreneurship is all about. Not every entrepreneur is going to become successful with their very first venture, but your personal brand cannot fail. It cannot fail because uh, you may close down a business, you may sell a business, but your personal brand, you can't sell it. It has to stay with you. It has to become successful for your second venture, for your third venture, or for your fourth venture, to attract business partners, to attract investment. Once when you build a good personal brand based on whatever, if you are in music, you will use Instagram and YouTube. But if you are into professional domain, if you are into software, you will use LinkedIn and Facebook to build that, and Twitter. And and the first thing, let's say you are looking for investment, the investor is not worried about your product or idea because ideas are plenty, but there are less people who could actually action and create that enterprise. And because of that, investors are looking into you as a person. They check your personal brand more than your business idea. Ideas are plenty. What is difficult to find is the person. So, when you build your personal brand, when you are known for certain things, once when your value system, your skills are known through your personal brand, it is easy for you to attract investment, attract partnerships, attract collaborations, attract maybe franchising. All these opportunities will easily come because they'll come and evaluate you. They will look at your content and they will know, wow, he's the person we are looking at. Look at his skills, look at his network. Everything is visible, there's nothing to hide. And then, so you have already won half the battle. And at your pitching event, they always already like you because of the content you have produced, because of the personal brand you have built using social media. It's your blog, it's your vlog, it's your maybe Instagram account that is helping you while you are sleeping. Your personal brand is selling out there. I hope I answered the question.
Yeah, yes, 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 you definitely, you rightly answered the question. You are a coach, so you must have that understood that there are so many people who have very good skills, who have knowledge, who have ideas, but they suffer from the imposter syndrome. They think, I'm not good enough. There are so many people who are doing good. I'm not good enough to create content, to do a live video or something like that. So how to deal with that imposter syndrome?
Yeah. So you are in India, I'm in Sri Lanka. We are from this part of the world where we, from school age, we seek validation. Yeah,
Yes,
from
yes,
parents, from neighbors. Like, I know people
yes.
say, hey, don't work from home because moms used to tell their sons, because my neighbors are asking whether your son is not going to work.
Yes, yes.
So they come and say, look, so they feel that they are answerable to the neighbors. They
Hmm.
are answerable to everybody. So naturally, people live with a lot of self-doubt.
Hmm.
Am I good enough? And then who is creating these standards? It's the society. It's your neighbor. It's your next door neighbor. It's your lane. It's your city. But then think about this. I am sure there would have been a day in your life that you were wearing the wrong colored shirt with your trouser one day. I'm sure there would have been a day.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then who can remember that? Nobody can remember that because everybody is going through a lot in their lives. They have no energy to remember, recall, and prepare reports about what went wrong with your life. So it's something artificial. It's not there out there, even though you think people are going to look at you and then you are not good in whatever you do. Yeah, of course, your first video will will suck. Your first article will be weird. People will laugh at whatever you have written. I mean, just check any top person in this world. Check their young time, their first video, first article, first drama, first movie. Probably they look horrible. That's how we evolve. We crawl first, and then we try to walk with the support of something, and then only we would run. So it is important we start crawling. It's okay. Have a have a headphone or something so that you don't hear what other people say. Honestly, other people have no time to say anything because there's a hell of a lot going in their lives. So it's okay, you know. Uh, just go and do whatever you have to do. Nobody cares. Honestly, nobody cares. You care. You think that others care. No, nobody cares. So it's important that you break that. You got to do it. Of course, if you are scared to do a video, I get it. But then you can type something. You can take a photo of something that you see, right? You see how one dog is helping the other dog. Take a photo of that and talk about the importance of helping another person.
Yes, wonderful. Ravi.
You don't have to be there, but people will love your ideology. They know the person who took this photo and who wrote it has a big heart. You have already built your personal brand around that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So find a way to go around it. You can find it.
And you suggest a person need to be authentic instead of putting a mask?
Yes. Because if you are not authentic, yes, you will go some distance, 200 meters, 300 meters, but you will not get into the kilometers. No way. Because anyway, you are going to get exposed. That day, your brand will be destroyed. You may not be able to repair it. So be authentic. There's nothing to hide, right? Sometimes people ask me, I mean, my son used to ask me, hey, why don't you have a camera inside my car? Why don't have I why don't I have a Truecaller app on my phone? I said, I'm not worried about people calling me. Let them call. There's nothing for me to hide. And me being what can I say, a good citizen, I'm not worried about breaking the rules. So I'm not worried about having a camera because you only have one character. Of course, if you have two, three characters, then your brand will not be authentic and you will also face the consequences of not being authentic.
Suppose a person is going to start his or her own business. So, do you suggest that initially that person should focus on establishing personal brand in the local community, local area, and then progressively grow it, or start with the big picture directly?
Yeah. Now, it is important that we also build our personal brand in the physical world. So it is important that your locality, your your local schools, universities, all the shops and everybody knows you. At least if there are only 100 people who know you, they should know who you are, what you are, and everything, not just the name alone. Now, I was invited to speak at a girls' school tomorrow for 2 hours. 12th grade, now they'll be moving out to universities and colleges. So they wanted me to come and, uh, talk about entrepreneurship. Someone has recommended me, right? It's maybe it's about 8 kilometers away. So I asked who recommended me. They gave me a name. Someone who is about 200 kilometers away has recommended me, as has recommended and said, look, he's not going to charge you any money and he's going to come and do it. So, so then I realized, okay, I have built my name and then they know me for exactly what I am for. So build your brand in the local chambers, chamber of commerce, in the local university, local maybe entrepreneurs association physically. And then of course, at the same time, if you get an opportunity to speak like this, build it around. I mean, I did a session for a chartered accountants Canadian chapter of Sri Lanka, right? And then I was building my personal brand in Canada in that, and I had another session for Qatar. I was building my personal brand over there, right? And here tomorrow I'll be speaking to a local school. Every opportunity, it doesn't matter whether it is local, international, or it's within your village. What matters is whether you are leveraging that opportunity, whether you go that extra mile to build your personal brand. Just do it. Go outside and meet people, share your visiting card. Then they talk to so many others. Don't expect, say for an example, if there is a bit of an elderly gentleman who may not be on social media but could be very well connected to the local businesses, the value that person could bring to you may be, someone online
Yes.
may not be able to do it. So online, offline, equally important.
And sir, what is the right time or the point where one should switch from doing personal branding on his own and moving to the next part? What do you think is the right point?
There's no right point. Like, say for an example, I told you my uh, younger son, who is 14 now, he started it when he was 11. Imagine all those. If I may ask you, who has the highest number of following or subscribers on YouTube? It is kids, except for one or two. It is kids who have started building their personal brand at the age of five,
Yes. Yes.
6, 7. So why would you wait? Right? What what happens is, in our daily lives, let's say that I don't have any strategy or any plan to build my personal brand. Let's say I go and criticize somebody on social media openly. Maybe it's a political party or somebody. What am I doing? I am building my personal brand as a critic.
Yeah.
So everything what you do, whether you like it or not, you are building your personal brand, whether it is a negative personal brand or a
I got
positive personal brand. So there's no starting point. You have already started now. Might as well now navigate it and take it to the direction that you want it.
Very good, very good. Of course, everything that step by step, what step by thing, whatever you have done, maybe in your personal life, and that is going to very good. So moving to that again for the entrepreneur point of view, suppose a college pass out, he maybe a software engineer or whatever, he want to establish his own company. So in that moment, establish if the two friend or three friends are going to make a company or something like, so how one should go about personal branding, because it's not about one person, that is a combination of two-person or three-person. So how to deal with that kind of transition?
Yeah. So if you already know them, if they are already in your network, then it becomes easy because you know some of them. But then there's no guarantee. I have close companies whom we I have started with my friends. They are friends, but for business, not good. Haven't realized that. Okay, you think okay, since they are friends, wow, it's a great combination. Friendship and then business synergy are two or three different things. So, uh, so of course you can find someone from unknown world. Somebody might reach out to you, or you can reach out to somebody else if you have a strong personal brand. And if you have built a strong personal brand and you are looking for a partner, a co-founder maybe, let's say you are good in business, but you are looking for a technology
Yeah, yeah.
related partner.
Mhm.
And then you may openly go and say, hey, look, I have a uh, idea which I have pivoted and then it's half built, and then I'm looking for a tech partner, tech founder, um, and then whoever, when they receive the message, they are going to come and check your personal brand first. What kind of a person is this? Trustworthy? Someone who would say, come at 8:30 and who would come at 8:30? Yeah, you say I'm coming at 8:30 and you don't come. It's another issue, right? Whether this person is a reliable person, whether that person's vision is matching with my vision, where I'm a techie, and then this is where I am going. And then if you haven't built a personal brand, all these are going to be questions that you got to ask from the other person. Hey, what's your future plan? What are you good at? Because your brand is not known, not visible to others. So ideally, if you have built a personal brand, it would be easy to find your co-founder. It will be easier for them to understand you. So it's good if you have built a personal brand, you will be able to find a co-founder from outside your circle. But if you haven't built a personal brand, you have to find that person from your inner circle, from your college, from your school, or wherever you can see or you know people physically. You have to pick somebody from them, from that circle, and maybe your choices are less. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. I can hear you.
Hello.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Maybe we can ask the audience. You can let us know if you could hear us. Can you hear me? Okay. Audience can hear us. Okay, I think Vijay left me, leaving me behind. Let's see. I think we have basically covered uh, a lot of things. If he doesn't come, I'll have to eventually leave. Sometimes you got to be prepared for any eventuality in life. It has happened to me as a host during my lives where where I had to leave, leaving my guest in the show. Let's wait for a second until he appears. Okay. I, if you don't mind, let me send a message to him quickly and see. There's a technical glitch. These things do happen. So maybe few more seconds and then we will decide whether to carry on or to leave. I think I almost answered all the questions that he had. All right. So what we are going to do is, since I have already answered all the questions, I'm sorry, my friends, for whatever that happened. I'm going to leave you, and I would like, on behalf of ALAP, for organizing this little session for the audience in India. And then I see some Suranga and some other friends who are from Sri Lanka watching this. Thank you very much for joining. See you in another session. Thank you very much and good night.